So just thank you everybody for coming out tonight. We really do appreciate it. I'm going to dive right in. With us tonight are our vendors. We have Mike Donnarumma here from M2 Media, and we also have Bob Wilkie, who is, I believe, the Vice President of Trophy Nut. So we're going to start with their presentation, and then Jenna and I will finish off with anything that's new going on with the council and the way of work for us. Okay, so welcome, Mike.
Well, thank you so much. It's so lovely to see everyone, and I wish I was enjoying some chicken with you, so that's awesome. Don't worry about, I think what I've learned about volunteers is they are phenomenal at doing more than one thing at a time. Otherwise, they would not be able to do this great volunteer gig. So thank you for taking the time even during your dinner. We certainly appreciate it. Just one favor, if everybody could put yourself on mute. And if you have any questions along the way, type it into the chat box. And we get to certain points, since we're recording this, then we'll make sure we stop and answer any of the questions. And knowing Kelly will have all those questions answered by the time I get to the break. So that'll allow us to really make sure we go through all of the details. I'm also, at some point, I have another training for another council a little bit later. So at around 7 o'clock, I'm gonna leave. So if there's still a few minutes left, I may just give a quick wave and say goodbye. But I wanted to let everybody know how much I appreciate their effort this past year and making sure that girls had a wonderful Girl Scout experience, especially during these tough times. So one of the things we like to talk about in this program is why. Why do we do this? Why are you sitting here on this training and doing all the other things you have to do in your life? Like, why are you here? And the key about this program is that the program has a tremendous amount of value to the girls. And it's about pointing out to the troops and to all the other volunteers, why should you participate? Why should troops participate in this program? Why should girls and caregivers participate in the program? And there's a lot of incredible reasons why. The program itself is a great learning experience. The monies that you earn from this program, you get to go on fun adventures like travel and camp. And the thing about that one, I think after all this coronavirus stuff, we're gonna get to a point where we're all gonna wanna go someplace big, and we're gonna all wanna go someplace really cool. And the monies that you'll be able to use from your previous cookie program, this fall program, and the next cookie program to do that big thing is gonna be really important to girls. So the fact that you're gonna be able to have the money to do it will make this a tremendous value. It's also the thing for me that is always the most remarkable thing about Girl Scouts is that a lot of these programs, both cookies and fall, troops earn money, the girls work hard, and then they use that money to give back to the community. They give back to local animal shelters and do things in their community that are meaningful. That's another incredible learning experience. So those three things, the fact that you're learning, the fact that you get to do fun stuff, the fact that you get to give back, are all things that matter as to why we should consider doing this program. Plus, Girl Scouting wouldn't exist if we didn't have programs like this to help run the engine. So this, all of your effort, all of the parents and guardians' effort, all of the volunteer effort really makes a difference and is meaningful. So one of the things we like to talk about is how you tell that story. Because when you're trying to share this information, handing out a packet and saying, hey, go do this, not gonna get someone to say, oh yes, I have to get out there and do it. But what is the story and how do we tell it? And one of the things we want to talk about here is reminding people about the things that it funds. It funds volunteer support, it funds camps, it funds girl programs. We have one of the most beautiful camps I've ever been to. These are things that are funded with the hard work of the girls, and then girls and volunteers get to go to that camp and enjoy it. Working as a team, building life skills, getting to give back to the community, all of those things are important ones. And one of the things we want to see if you can work on this season is when you're telling the story, maybe you could get a girl, maybe a girl in your troop, a girl you know, or maybe when you were a Girl Scout and now you're a volunteer, you could tell your story. Because, you know, my wife owns a shop in Long Island, New York, and she would tell you that the inspiration for that shop was out of her love for selling. She likes to sell stuff. Her love for selling came because she loved Girl Scouts and she loved the cookie program. Her favorite thing to do. She liked every year to compete. She liked to sell lots of stuff. She wanted to win. And she actually became someone who loves to sell. as someone who loves to sell, who sold a lot of chocolate bars, a lot of world's finest chocolate bars when he was in kindergarten, you know that that love of selling that you learn from this program might inspire you to go on and open a store and take a shop, might teach you how to sell things internally at your job or sell yourself during an interview. Those are the things you learn in this program. And maybe if you could get a girl to share that experience that they've had when you're telling your story to other volunteers, that's why we do this. And maybe you can interview, do a quick video, have a girl shoot a video and play it at your training or play it to your volunteers to remind everyone that the value of this program is so much more than just selling some nuts and chocolates or magazines. There are so many opportunities, and how we tell the story, people will remember it. So make sure that when you're telling the story, you share all those wonderful components of this program, because this really is a great opportunity for girls. Now, this year, we decided to come up with a new theme. Our theme is Rise Up, and our mascot is the Emperor Penguin, which we absolutely love. Trying to compete with the sloth from last year was hard to do, but we think we did a good job with the Emperor Penguin. And just reminding you that by supporting those troops as service unit volunteers and by supporting the girls, you are directly impacting the future of girls because you're helping facilitate this incredible program. And those funds are going to matter. At the moment, I know we're not getting to do all the things that we want to do, but they're going to matter when we can. And we're going to want to do things bigger in a bigger and more exciting way than ever before, because we haven't had the opportunity to do all those things. And then the skills you learn of selling. I always say that the presentation skills, the in-person skills, they're the ones we're not doing as much. We're always on our phones, so we're not doing the talking to people as much. This program has the interaction with Uncle Mike and family members and friends to ask them. So those life-changing experiences, without you, we couldn't do this. So I always like to say thank you at the beginning and thank you at the end, because what you do matters, to the girls, and thank you for being willing to take on this role. Now, those Emperor Penguins are really cool. I'm not going to go through all these details tonight, but I will point out that Emperor Penguins do some really cool things. And I don't know how you deal with up to minus 76 degrees in blizzards and winds of 124 miles per hour, but that sounds a little too cold for my blood. However, Emperor penguins are really cool animals. They are near threatened, so we try to focus some attention on an animal that causes girls to maybe learn a little bit about them, because who knows, maybe one day one of the girls in this program, in your council, learns about emperor penguins and maybe goes to school, goes to college, and then winds up being someone who helps solve whatever the problems are that face these wonderful animals. So there's lots of great features, lots of great information about the emperor penguins, and we have lots of rewards tied to those penguins. Some of those rewards are the penguin mom, the adult and baby, and I'm just going to shoot back for a second because I have both of those penguins right here. So you got the baby, which looks like a baby penguin, and so you can earn both of these. You can earn one, the baby penguin, or the penguin and charm bracelet, or you can earn the large penguin, and you can earn that with the US hanging light. So lots of cool rewards to choose from. We've got a penguin necklace. We've got the penguin, I love the penguin sleeping bag. We've got super seller events, lots of great items to choose from. Even the Rise Up t-shirt is really cool this year with the penguin pictured. Multiple patches that all fit together, all representing our theme and making sure that the girls earn some cool rewards. Remembering, all of our rewards are cumulative in this program. We have a couple of initial rewards, the Goal Getter patch, the penguin necklace, and the Rise Up t-shirt. But other than that, all the other rewards are combined and are cumulative. Our personalized patches we love this season because you get to choose the background, whether you're in front of the ship or your camp with the adult and baby penguin hanging out with you. It'll have your name on it and rises up. You can pick from the pink parka suit, the green parka suit, or your Girl Scout uniform. So you get to pick whatever you want on your avatar, but you'll create the avatar, you'll be able to have it, earn a patch, and you'll be able to pick what you want to wear. This patch is earned by sending 18 emails in the program and selling $350 in sales, and that's magazines, nuts, and chocolates. And once you hit that level, we will mail that patch out directly to the girls. The next item about this program that's critically important is the proceeds. Proceeds in this program is what drives the troop to be able to do all those activities that you want. We have in troop proceeds $1.50 per magazine subscription and 80 cents per nut and candy item. Troop proceeds is a critical component. And some of those older girl troops, they don't necessarily want to earn all the rewards, but they want some extra money. So it's plus 15 cents per item with the reward opt-out. So if you decide to opt out of rewards, you can earn $1.65 on magazines or 95 cents on the nut and candy items. So that is another way instead of the rewards. And by the way, the girls will still earn the patches in those cases. So you're not getting all the rewards, but you'll get the patches and the additional proceeds. Now I'm going to turn it over to the Vice President of Trophy Nut Company to talk a little bit about the products. I consider Bob a partner and a good friend. So Bob, you want to take a moment to share what's new and all the cool products in this program?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So on behalf of Trophy, I just want to say thank you all for being here tonight. And I too appreciate all of your time and effort that goes into this program. We work very hard to put together the best product variety for you. And each year we go through and we look at what items on the order card did well, what may have not done well, and we try to put new items in. This year, we've got one new item on the order card. Of course, anything that's not on the order card will be online and available for the direct ship program. We have 3 tins on this year. I'll get to those on the next slide, but I want to mention something about what's in one of the tins, which is the milk chocolate mint trefoils, and we also have a dark chocolate mint trefoil. And what's important to note about those, if you look at the picture, you won't see any green center anymore. So for probably 25 years, that center has been green. And that green comes from an artificial color. And the flavor of the mint really is not in the center. It's actually in the chocolate itself and always has been. So what we did is we took out all the artificial colors and flavors, and we took out the palm oil. So it's the exact same flavor, exact same shape, and the exact same product, but it will have no green center this year. Also on the order card that's new this year is the everything seasoned cashews. You know all about the everything but the bagel seasoning. You've seen everything but the bagel. You've seen everything seasoned bagels. Very popular. So we took that seasoning and we put it on cashews this year. We're expecting great things out of that product. We actually have 4 different almonds or 3 different almonds this year. We have dark chocolate sea salt almonds. We have milk chocolate almonds, and we have a Madagascar and vanilla almond as well. And then milk chocolate peanut butter penguins to go along with our penguin theme, instead of the milk chocolate peanut butter monkeys that we had last year. So those will be new. And of course, we have the other favorites like the cashews and the fruit slices and the chocolate raisins and the sea salt caramels and pecan supremes as well. And then we'll have about 10 other Girl Scout items online. The Gort mix that we've had in the past in the big jar, we will still have it online only as well. And then we have some gift items online too. Next slide, Mike. So our tins this year, we have 3 of them. The Girl Scout tin with the milk chocolate mint trefoils is our Girl Scout camp theme tin. And this year that tin is actually designed on its side. So when it's sitting like it is right there, the lid is on the right-hand side of that tin. And each side of that tin in the design is a little tiny peanut and a little tiny trefoil that you can find, and we've hidden them. So it's a little game on each side of that tin. Those mint trefoils are individually wrapped and they're stuffed in the tin. So that's a great gift item. And then the penguin tin, Of course, we have a penguin mascot, so we need a penguin tin. And in the penguin tin will be the peppermint bark rounds. So that's a dark chocolate with a white chocolate on top and the peppermint sprinkles in the middle. All those are individually wrapped. And then we have a snowscape tin this year with chocolate covered pretzels. So 3 really nice tins, great gifts and great prices for the gifts. Next slide, please. And finally, we have Care to Share. Care to Share is a great way for your customers to support without actually having to have anything delivered to them. There's no shipping involved here. We take care of the donation, and all the donations go to Long Island Cares. So the supporter will pay $7. You won't have to deliver any products to them. They won't have to do anything. And we take care of donating that product to the Long Island Care. So it's a wonderful way to support the program without having to actually buy anything. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Mike, and thank you.
Probably should unmute if I'm going to continue the presentation. So sorry about that. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. And just as a reminder, that's the order card items. And you know, your council does an incredible job with the in-person portion of the sale, and the learning associated with that is critical. So using that order card to take the orders, ask family and friends to make their purchases, really an incredible way to connect with people and also check out and see what they'd like to buy. But there's another way to participate in this program. And last year we saw a lot of people really engage the online system. So the Girl Online experience, where you create a virtual likeness and then use that virtual likeness to connect with family members and friends to help sell online, is something you've been using for many years. This year, one quick note, the uniform choices will include all of the new Girl Scout uniforms. So if you want to check out what those new Girl Scout uniforms look like, you'll be able to see that in your avatar when you participate. And then who knows, maybe you can create an avatar, wear the new uniform, and then head over to the shop where Jenna and team have created a great experience. And then you can all take a look at all those cool new uniforms because I think that you're really going to like some of them. I think they look great on the avatar. I think they're even going to be better in person. So the online experience starts off with that, but getting started is really easy. And the online program begins on September 20th. That is not that far away. I always think it's far away when it's a month, but then it goes like that. So we're going to be, before we know it, we'll be in the middle of the program. It'll start on the 20th. Girls that have participated before can just log in. All your emails are already saved from last year. Nice and simple. If you're new to the program, you can register for the first time. And remember, if you happen to be a Spanish-speaking family, you can toggle the entire system, including sending emails in Spanish language. So it's a really easy site to be able to go back and forth between Spanish and English. Zip code, we ask you for your zip code. We set up your participant information. Then we ask you a few questions. Question number 1, what is your troop number? Then you choose your name. Once you choose your name, you can add a nickname or edit a nickname. Then, once you're done with all of that, we ask 3 questions about your online storefront. We want to create an online storefront that tells your story. So the questions are, how much do you want to earn? What are you going to do with the money? And what do you think about Girl Scouting? What does Girl Scouting mean to you? And those 3 questions create the story on your storefront. And that the third of those 3 questions, which is, what are you going to do with the money earned, in my opinion, is the most critical. Because while Uncle Mike would gladly buy those everything but the bagel cashews, which by the way, I've had them and I'm here to tell you they are outstanding. One of the things Uncle Mike knows is that he might buy more if he knew what you were going to do with the money you earned. So if you're going on that big trip this season, if you're going to get to do those things, if you're going to give back to your community, those are all things that Uncle Mike and Grandma and Grandpa would like to know, because I certainly want to help when I know that there is even more value in my purchase than the delicious nuts and chocolates or the magazines. So that is an incredible way to let everybody know all the things you're going to do with the money you earn. The why we talked about earlier, that's the girls' why, and they should share that with their family members and friends. And then when you personalize your campaign further, You have the ability to create an avatar that looks like you. You can upload a video. You could upload a photo to really customize that storefront. And the thing I like about customizing the storefront is that what we've noticed when we've analyzed the data is that girls that upload a video sell 100% more than the girls who don't. Girls that upload a voice message for their avatar sell 41% more than the girls who don't. So at the end of the day, if we could get the girls to really engage the personalization of their site, they will be more likely to send more emails to friends and family, connect with more people, and share on social media to let people know about all the cool things you're going to get to do with the program. And uploading a video and uploading a voice message for your avatar to do your talking, those are two things that really increase your sales. This year, we also created a few additional tools in our program. So while we know email is still the most popular option and gets the majority of the results, still 73% of the sales come from email, we also know that social media is a critical component. So 27% of sales last year came from social media. But we did a few other things in the system. So last year, you probably remember, we did a set of business cards. So you can still print out a set of business cards and hand those to your family members and friends. So it makes it really easy for the girls to be able to print those out, hand those to friends, family, neighbors. But we did one other thing this year, which I think you're all gonna love, and that is the share function. And our share function, bear with me for a second, the system just changed the slide without me touching it. Or maybe it was maybe I was moving around too much. But anyway, so the feature we added is a share function. And how I will describe the share function, it's similar to the way you would go and read an article and then send it to a friend. You sort of click that button, it takes the article, it puts it in a nice format in your text message, you send it to your friend via text message, and now your friend, family member has that article. You look to the right of the screen, you can see that when you use that function, we're gonna take the girl's avatar, we're gonna put shop my site to help me reach my goal. It'll say, please help Susie reach her goal for Girl Scouts. And then a little blurb underneath that says, hi, Uncle Mike, please click the link above to support me and my troops. So all of that gets populated into your text message so that you can very quickly forward it via text message. Many of you have been asking for this for a few years now. We finally added this as a feature. So if Uncle Mike is not an emailer, no problem. You could use text message to connect. You could also use some of the other methods that, you know, sometimes the older set Uncle Mikes of the world don't always do WhatsApp and all those things. But this share function allows you to share it in whatever functions you have on your phone. So if you click the button, it'll give you the options of ways to share it with your friends and family, text message being one of them. So you have the ability to send that out nice and easily to your friends and family, and using text as an alternate and additional method to connect with family members and friends. One quick thing, two quick things to mention. One, if you don't want to include your last name on anything, you don't have to. There's a toggle to toggle off last name. We will only put the first name and last initial. One point about last name though, sometimes if you leave off your last name and you're sending it to people, they don't know who Susie G is, but they definitely know who Susie Gargiulo is. So you want to make sure that you are sending that to if you're going to take that off, remind people you're sending. And then if you bought magazines last year, good news, we put an extra link in the store, in the email for anybody that bought a magazine last year. And if you click that link, you can go renew the magazines you bought last year. Because sometimes Uncle Mike doesn't remember exactly what he bought. So you can click on that. It'll take him to the cart and you can see the magazines you bought last year and we'll put them in there for you. You can still add additional magazines in if you want, but that's another way to make it easier on the customers. Once parents, guardians, and girls get to sort of set up their entire campaign, you can get to your campaign headquarters to manage your program. This is where you'll take your order card and click on Manage Paper Orders and enter it. But the last thing we added to the system this year to help the girls with selling was the personalized door hangers. Personalized door hangers, bottom right-hand corner, that gives you a 2 to an 8.5 by 11. It will print out. It's got pictures of magazines, pictures of nuts. It's got the story that the girls created with their questions message. It's also, I don't know why that keeps doing that. And then it also has a QR code that will take Uncle Mike right to the storefront. and it has a URL and a code in case Uncle Mike doesn't know how to use a QR code, because some Uncle Mikes and grandmas don't know how to use it just yet. So we've got a QR code for those people that are savvy. We've got the URL with a code for people who are not familiar with that. But here's my favorite feature of all of the things I just mentioned. Social media shares, shares on text via text message, business cards, and door hangers. Those 4 things will now go to a URL. When you click on that URL, there's no more having to share a magazine link and a nut link separately. It will go to a page that will give every customer both options. That way, parents and guardians don't have to share twice every time they're trying to share with people. And now there is a link that gives you 2 options. And when you pick the option, it'll take you right there. So that was feedback that has come from your council for a couple of years now, that why do I have to share my magazine link? And now you don't have to. One share, whether it's the business card, whether it's the door hanger, whether it's a share on social, whether it's a share via text, anybody that clicks that link or uses that QR code, you will go to a link, you go to a page that gives you choice of magazines and nuts, and then you'll be able to get the rest. Every customer will have all the options without having to do extra work. And then
Mike,
finally,
can I ask a quick question? Someone's asking, when you send out emails, it does repeatedly send out emails until the person purchases, okay? She's wondering if she texts somebody, is it gonna automatically keep sending text messages, or only when she initiates it?
the only thing that will be send reminders is email. Everything else, there is no reminders. So if you send a text, that's the last time you will receive a text unless you text again. If you share on social media, that is the last time it's shared on social media, unless you share on social media again. So we wanted to make sure you had a tool that gave you the ability to text people. Maybe if you have someone who's giving you feedback on emails and you say, you know what, I'm just going to send them one text message because Uncle Mike is much better clicking on the text message, you now have the ability to do so.
And can I ask a question? Somebody had asked, and I'm wondering too, when you send a text or anything else, does that count towards the 18 for the?
No,
No,
it does not.
not
Because sharing's always been in addition to sending the emails. There's no way for the system to track your text messages. It can only
Okay.
track your email sent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just so you know, though, it's a good question, and we're looking at it. We can't track it yet, but we are looking at ways to maybe inspire people to do, either or. We're not there yet because it's hard to track. It's hard to track an actual sent text. We know that you engage the system to send one, but we don't know that you sent it. So we want to make sure that we can track all that. For right now, emails are still tied to the rewards, but this is an additional way, especially if someone would prefer to receive a text message. A couple of other things here. You've got a room with your avatar, and you have the ability to check out what your friends' avatars look like. You can add additional participants. You can check out sales reports. All of the things you need to know in your program right here, and all in one location once you're done setting up your program and accessing your dashboard. We've also got the Fall and Cookie Girl Scout crossover patch. I love this one because it ties in the theme from Fall Rises Up and also talks about what I believe Girl Scouts do better than anyone, and that is spread kindness, because through their helpfulness, caring, thoughtfulness, and giving, we wanted to point out something that really spoke to what Girl Scouting really is. And the girls will earn this with their name on it. It'll have Fall and Cookies 21-22. It'll have GSSC on it. So it has all the personalization. And to earn this patch, you have to participate in the fall program by creating your avatar and sending 18 emails. That's all you have to do. Even if you don't sell anything, once you send 18 emails, you are now eligible. And then if you sell 150 packages of cookies after or during the cookie program, when the cookie program is finished, we will send you your patch, and we'll remind you that if you want to change what you're wearing, maybe you bought the new uniform in between this fall and the cookie program, you can change what you're wearing. So both patches would represent different uniforms, different hairstyles, different shoes. So you can have a little fun changing it and making sure both patches have what you would like to see on it. Customers do receive emails. Couple of points to make here. Customers that receive an email will receive reminders. Once you make a purchase, you will not receive reminders anymore. We've done some things to make that better over the years. If someone got an email to AOL, but then checked out with Gmail, we didn't stop the email. Now we're connecting those things. So we've gotten feedback from your council over the last couple of years that there have been people who got emails who bought. We've done more to protect that so that you're not getting any reminders unless you haven't bought. And reminders work. A lot of the reminders that go out actually generate, the reminders actually generate more than the first email in this program. So the reminders are important, and we want to make sure that we don't send it to people who already bought. So we've done more to protect that. This is what the landing page looks like if you're shopping on social media, if you're shopping the text message. You're just getting an option. You'll be able to click on the voice message for your avatar. You can read my message, shop my magazine site, shop my nut and chocolate site. So it's a nice, simple way to have one single link for all the shares, including business cards and door hangers. Once you choose nuts and chocolates, you have options, the options to save the shipping cost. We know how the girl delivery program works. Your council's really engaged that. If you want the convenience of having it shipped directly to you and you want access to all those other delicious products like the Gorp in the tub that Bob was talking about earlier, those other options and all the options can be shipped. And if you live far away, it's the perfect opportunity to make your purchase and have it shipped to you directly. But you have multiple options there. And we see girl delivery being the majority of the sales while girl delivery is open, but there's a lot of people buying some of those other products, and check them out. Some of those gift products are really, really cool. Once you're done taking your order card and selling in person, you'll be able to take that order card and enter it into the system. Well, this past year, we saw a lot of people do that. I think with the inability to be as connected, we use the online system. Please remind parents and guardians to enter it. What we saw is it made troop volunteers' lives easier, and it was more accurate because I can't read other people's handwriting. You can read your own handwriting, so you can type, what is that, an 8, 6? You can't tell. This is an easy way for someone, instead of handing it to somebody else to enter it, ask the parents and guardians to do it. Volunteers at the troop level are already working so hard for the girls. It'll make it their life easier. Remind the troops to share with parents and guardians to do that. Parents and guardians and girls also have the opportunity to pull down reports. You can check out and see all of the sales, what Uncle Mike bought. My favorite report is the report that we email you after girl delivery is done. So once girl delivery is done, we'll send you a report that tells you all of the customers and what they bought for girl delivery. You take that report, you take your order card, and you deliver those products to your friends and family. That report is emailed to you, but you can log in and get it at any time. So remember, any report you might be looking for, all you have to do is log in, click on the report section, and you'll have access to what magazines were bought, nuts were bought, and who bought online that I have to deliver when my products arrive. So Kelly, I'm just gonna stop for 2 seconds here and just check in to see if there were any questions that you didn't answer, and then I'll go through the volunteer access.
I have another question. As a leader, am I going to be able to see, if I advertise this to my troop and I try to push them to do the online store, how am I going to know if they did fill out the paper portion on their own site and I don't have to?
When you log in, you will have access to a page for the paper order entry where you'll be able to see all the girls who entered their paper orders and the girls who didn't. So you'll have all of those handy. It'll have all the lists of the girls' names on that site. It'll have every girl who has entered it. You'll have zeros near the girls who haven't. So you may just need to check with those girls to see if they actually have an order card order. Some girls only do this online only. So you want to check with them, but it'll be available to you. There's also a report you can run if you want to see all the girls that had paper orders. But it's an icon. Click on it. It'll take you right to a page and it'll show you everyone that's ordered and everybody that hasn't.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Great question. We good to go, Kelly? All right. So let's talk volunteer level access because you get to get in on the fun too as a volunteer at the service unit level and the troop level. Your job is to make sure that the troops have all the things that they need. So we want you to be able to create an avatar. We want the troops to be able to create an avatar that looks like them. Once you receive an email, we're going to send the emails around 9/13. So it's about a week before the site goes live. If you've participated before, like last year you were a volunteer, you'll be able to log right in and have access to this year's information and last year's information. If you're new to the program, it will ask you to create a password, and then you'll be able to log in and have access to all the info. Once you do log in, a couple of things we ask you to do. One is create your avatar. 2, watch that troop training video. The troop training video, service units, you don't have to watch it. When you log in as a troop, we've got a 10-minute video that takes the troops through how everything in the online system works. When you're going through this program, if you take the 10 minutes to watch that video will tell you everything you need to know. It literally goes through each icon, clicks on it. It'll show you things like I just mentioned before, clicking the paper order entry page. It'll show you what that page looks like. It'll show you what the orders look like. It is a short video, but it tells you everything you need to know. Once you've done those things, one of the most important things in the program is what we call the parent and guardian email blast. Now, the parent and guardian email blast is something that is sent to parents and guardians, but it comes from the troop volunteers. When the troop volunteer logs in, they'll go to the address book. You'll see at the bottom, you'll see all of the email addresses of the parents and guardians preloaded. All you have to do is update and hit send. Once you've updated and hit send, on day 1 of the program, on September 20th, they will go out with links to the parents from the troop volunteer. Last year, we analyzed the data and we found that 74% of the parent and guardian email blasts were opened. We don't have anything in our program that has an open rate of 74% for emails, but this one's open because it comes from the troop volunteer. So if you want parents to really participate, troop volunteers log in, check to make sure all the email addresses are in there of those parents, edit them, add anybody that needs to be added, remove anybody that needs to be removed, update, hit send. On day 1 of the program, they'll all get a reminder from you letting them know that they could participate. And whether you do that on day 1 or a day in, no problem. The minute the site is live, if you go in on the 21st, you can still trigger that. They'll just go out immediately. So anybody that does the work from the 14th on, we'll hold them till the 20th and they'll go out on day 1. Anybody that goes in after the 20th, those emails will flow immediately after you trigger them. So doesn't matter if you log in day 2, you'll still be able to trigger those parent and guardian email blasts. The troop dashboard has lots of different things, and that actually is a screen. I don't know if Kelly knew that was going to be a question, but that is a screen of the paper order entry page. So you can see all the girls' names. It'll tell you their ID number, and then it'll tell you details as to whether or not those paper orders were entered. And then you can click on each paper order and you can edit them. You can check them, you could correct them. Somebody calls you and said, I need 1 more can of cashews. You could log in and add a can of cashews. So you have the ability to do all of that really simply. Girl Rewards is something that will calculate automatically, and the system will continue to remind the girls to choose what rewards they want. What I would do is tell the troops not to worry about the rewards at the beginning of the program, because as the order cards get entered and more sales happen, the rewards will continue to rack up and the system will continue to remind us. As we get closer to the end of the program, we will send reminders directly to volunteers at the troop level and directly to girls to remind them to make those choices. Volunteers at the troop level and at the girl level will have the ability to make choices for rewards all the way up to the end of the program. So we don't need to worry about this part, and the system has the ability to send a message to people who haven't made the choice without bothering the people who have already made their choices. Banking and payments, this is where you can see how much you sold, gross sales, total paid online, total proceeds earned, balance due counsel. And then as a troop, you have the ability to keep track of any payments that have to come from parents to the troop by clicking on the girl payment tab. If you do click on the girl payment tab, know that that girl payment tab is a ledger. It gives you the ability to keep track of what each of the girls owes for the troop, and you have the ability to make sure that you get those payments. This is not subtracting off of what you owe. It is just making sure you have a place to keep track of that. Everybody has their own method to keep track. This is an easy way, though, to make sure you're collecting the right amount of money from each of the girls in your troop. Reports, we've got tons of them. And for all you data junkies out there, we see how many times you're clicking on some of those reports. My opinion, there's a report called the summary report. It will tell you everything your troop needs to know. How much you collected online, collected from customers, online sales, girls selling, avatars created. It has every detail. And that report You can log in, type in an email address, and just email it to somebody. You can PDF it. You can download it. We have that report available in the system. Now, there's lots of other reports. You can go check them out. But this report will give you everything in a snapshot that you need to know about your program. If you want to dig deeper and learn more about what the girls are selling and who they're selling to, you'll be able to log in at the troop level to see all that information. Service units, you'll have access to that same information for all of your troops. So it gives you the ability to help a troop at any point because you have access to the same information they have in the program. Service units, your dashboard looks the same. All of the features are the same. You don't have to watch the troop training video, but we have it there just in case you want to watch it so you know what we're presenting to troops. You can send messages like, hey, today's the day everybody's paper order entry needs to be done. So you could send messages right directly to the troop volunteers, and you have the ability to use this as a way to manage your program. Most important of those things is the delivery tickets. Delivery tickets are what you will use to distribute your product when the product is delivered. So when the product gets delivered to the service units, you'll print out a set of delivery tickets, one per troop, and this we'll use to hand out all the product. If you batch these delivery tickets, don't worry, we're not going to waste any of the printer ink. We are going to make sure that we only print the troops that have sales. So we'll save you from having to print anything out. It'll make it nice and easy. It'll have cases and pieces. And by the way, if you want to put the financial information on the bottom so the parents know all the online sales they sold to, you have the ability to add that to the delivery tickets. Last but not least, delivery tickets, we have a reward one. So when the rewards get delivered, we also can print out a set of delivery tickets for all the troops to distribute rewards, and troops have access to create delivery tickets for each girl. So it makes it nice and easy to print these out, use this to pick the products, hand it to the girls. You got a place for parent to sign, and you can do the same thing with the rewards. Last but not least, I want to share with you that we want to make sure that you get a patch with your avatar on it. So you will be able to choose whether or not you want the pink or the green or your Girl Scout uniform, what you chose to wear for your avatar. But that patch is earned for all product shares. We'll earn it by achieving $1,500 in total troop sales, but we added an additional criteria for the troops this year, and that is they also have to make sure you send that parent guardian email blast. So we made that a little bit tougher, but we believe what's going to happen is the more people that trigger that parent and guardian email blast because of the open rates, we'll likely see more troops actually earn that patch. Service units, because of how much we appreciate your effort in this program, all the hard work you do to present the program, all the hard work you do to deliver the products in the program, we wanted to make sure you got that patch. So all you have to do is log in, create your avatar, and your service unit has to sell $1. And $1 is not a lot because all of you will likely earn that on the first day of the program. Really, the only reason why it's $1 is I can't make it zero. The system doesn't allow zero. So we had to put $1 in. So once your service unit hits $1, you'll earn a patch. It's just a little extra thank you that TrophyNet and M2 wanted to make sure that that we said thank you with something that you could commemorate your hard work and effort for the program and to show our appreciation for all that you do. So what's next? If you're going to train your troops, remind the troops to log in, watch the training video, create their avatar. That training video will help you with the online portion so you can spend your time reminding people of why you should do this program, the benefits of this program. That way, when a troop learns the whys and the benefits, we can then have them log in and show them how the online works. Encourage the troops to send that parent and guardian email blast. It really makes a difference. We've never seen open rates like that. And we believe it's because parents are paying attention to the emails that are coming from troop volunteers, which really is helping with people getting started. And then finally, the simplicity of this program. This program online, you're participating online, the online portion, you're collecting orders, they're paying for things online, just makes it easy and girls can deliver the items, but not that the in-person is something you aren't really good at. You do a great job with the in-person, and I think the complement of both, especially with things that are going on right now, will help you maximize your sales, because I suspect that this coming summer, not the one we're in, but the next one, is going to be one that we all want to do more things bigger and badder than ever before. And I don't mean bad in a bad way, I mean in a good way. So bigger and badder than ever before. And I think that the money from this program, the cookie program, is really going to allow girls to do some pretty remarkable things. And with that, I'm going to turn it over where I'm going to ask, I'll stop sharing and I'm going to hand it over to Kelly. And I figure I'll check and see if there are any questions before I head out to another training.
Mike, I think all the questions are good. I think we got them all done in the chat box. If anybody has any last minute ones, please feel free.
I knew, Kelly, that you and Jenna would handle those questions. And I know the sincerity about making sure volunteer time wasn't 7 hours of training live and in person on a Saturday, versus trying to make sure that we, share this information in a meaningful way, but also share our appreciation. What you did in 2020 and 2021 for the girls in this program really was incredible. And the volunteers who participated in Girl Scouts last year, I think you made a real difference in a lot of girls' lives. So thank you for all that you do to support this program. And thank you. And Bob and I are going to make a date right now. We're doing this live next year. And even though it's going to take longer, Jenna and Kelly, we're going to make it a party. We're not doing this thing anymore. We're going to do a party. We're going to have good food. We're going to taste the products, and we're going to have some fun. So sorry we couldn't be in person again this year. Wanted to make it easy for people, but I think we should figure out how to maybe have a party next year while we're kicking off this program. So thank you for all you do. I certainly appreciate it and look forward to seeing you all in person again soon.
Thank you so much, Mike. As always, great presentation. And Bob. Didn't forget Bob. So Jen is going to start us off with a cute video.
Everybody can see it, right?
I see it.
Any
Love it.
excuse I could do to stick some snow angels into a video.
I love a good video.
We need to, like last year, I think we were dancing, and the year before we were superheroes. So,
Yes, we were superheroes. I do remember that.
keep it going.
Mascot is an emperor penguin. That was a question in our chat box. Okay, so we're just waiting for Jenna, do you have the presentation or do you need me to pull it up?
No, I got it. I'm just pulling it up now.
Okay, sounds good. Guys, we don't have too much left. We do have a couple important things to talk about. I'm just gonna wait for the slides to pop up. That way I don't forget anything. That's really the only point of a PowerPoint when it comes to me, because I tend to get off on tangents and completely forget.
Good night, everybody.
Thank
Night,
you,
Mike.
Mike.
Thank you. Taste the new everything cashew. I already tasted it. It's good.
Are the plain cashews online or?
Yes.
They're both.
Yes.
I'm honestly disappointed because the plain cashews were like one of our bigger sellers because a lot of folks like some people need like the simple plain things without salt and without
They're on the
seeds
order.
and
They're
all
on the
that.
order card. Those are on the order card and online.
Plain cashews are on the order card?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So we can still sell those at booths?
Yep.
Okay, because I was gonna say the plain cashews were a big seller. I'm disappointed about the gorp too.
To be honest with you, the gorp, we don't just, like, I love gorp. I love gorp. I would keep it on forever. But unfortunately, gorp was one of our lowest sellers, if not our lowest seller, if I recall. So we're trying to get you guys products that people actually want to purchase. So like we took cranberry trail mix off a couple of years ago, and now it's back. So there's always a chance that things come back, and just to see if we can mix it up a little different, that kind of thing.
We are considering putting that item back in a can next year. The 28-ounce jar is getting too high priced is part of the problem, and we think it'll sell better in a can, so that we're considering that for next year.
I'd like you to bring back the dark chocolate cashews. Those were really good and popular.
Yeah, I love those too. We're held to 25 items in our total program, so some things just had to go.
Even for the online, I guess.
Yes.
What's the number one?
Number one is, if I'm remembering quite, it's either fruit slices or honey roasted.
But it is, but it's so close. Your top 5 or 6
Yeah.
items are all within a 0.25% of each other.
Yeah, that's why we really look at the numbers to see what really isn't selling, because we don't want to give you a product that's not going to sell. We'd rather try to put something new there that might excite people into trying something different. Okay, so here is the rest of our presentation. So as normal, every year we do a program, New to Nuts. It is for your troop leaders. It's for returning leaders. It is for new leaders. It's for whoever wants to come and learn about the nut program, the magazine program, Bags and Munchies. We're offering, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one on a Monday evening and during the day on the 13th. And I've had a ton of people start signing up, so they're filling up fast. And also, because I'm gonna have to probably cut off the in-person one at some point because of social distancing. So if they really wanna come in person, tell them to really sign up soon. And also we're gonna do it virtually and I'm gonna record it. So that way we have it for posterity and everybody can see me from 50 years from now, still on YouTube, on the Girl Scout channel, talking about New to Nuts with the penguins, okay? Yes, there is a girl delivery option for online orders. That hasn't changed from last year. Okay, slide. Okay, so service unit to-do list. So pre-sale. Pre-sale, what you're gonna do is, I'm just moving my little box of people's heads. I can't see the actual screen. So service unit chair agreement, we're gonna email that out to you probably tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Wednesday, latest Thursday, probably tomorrow though. And that way you could fill out your agreement online. Once you do that, and we have access to the system, we can add you into the system, and then you will gain access as the service unit full chair. Service unit coordinators will automatically be given access, so that way you could see everything that's going on in your service unit. Troop chair agreements, again, will be online this year. Difference for this year is when they fill out their troop chair online agreement, I'm gonna get a copy automatically, and so is the full chair for that service unit. So you will know automatically who is a full chair for that troop. You're not gonna be entering them into the system. The council will still be entering them into the system, and then that will generate their welcome email, but you will instantaneously know who your troop chairs are. So we don't have to create the list from hell last year. It was horrible. So this year it'll be much easier. We're using a new form system called Jot form. And it makes it so much easier to use. So when you get an email from Jot form, it's J-O-T, that is most likely someone's troop chair agreement, okay? One thing we did change is we're trying to morph the name of the team members from service unit full chair to service unit full manager. And also with the troop chair, we're trying to change that to full troop manager. The only reason we're making the slight change is because in Salesforce, eventually we'd like to log these people in as part of their jobs. And the job categories in Salesforce list them as managers. So that is the only reason we've changed it from chair to manager. We're just trying to make everything a little more uniform. Next in line for your pre-sale would be plan your service unit training. That doesn't mean hand out the paperwork. Okay, that means there's new people there, just like there's new people here right now. So like I said before, if anybody's interested, I'll come up with a date and we can have an in-person training with whoever's new, and we could go over things in a little more detail. That has to happen for your new troop managers, because some of them have not been around since the beginning of time, so they don't know where to even begin, okay? So part of the planning of that service unit training for your troops is gonna be, we have decided to give you a shortened version of this training, or new to nuts training really, with my voice, so you'll hear me forever. And you can pause it in the middle of it and talk to them. Like when we get to the boot sale section, you can pause it and explain to them how you do boot sales. You can pause it and explain to them how you do your service unit delivery, you know, and things. It'll be a little interactive, but I'll also be there giving the you know, all the information. And you can add whatever you want by pausing or by talking about it at the end of the training. So, you know, we're trying our best to give you the tools to be successful. We ask that you just use them. You know, I mean, like I said, there are new people out there. Hopefully we'll have lots of new people. Because of last year, you know, our DAISY numbers are not that great. So I'm hoping that those numbers go up now that we're getting back to our new normal. So we have to remember there will be a lot of new people in the scenario this year. By the end of the week, I already have the link ready to go. I'm going to send you out your initial delivery link. What that means is, for our new people here, is your initial sale deliveries begin the week of October 29th. Okay, so you have to pick 2 dates between October 29th and I'm not going to remember the end date, but it's 2 Saturdays. Okay, you have to give me 2 dates, a first choice and a second choice. We come up with a calendar for the warehouse and they then approve it, or they call you and ask you to change something. The first Saturday, which is October 30th, a service unit cannot choose. We will be doing council deliveries. So what that means is, last year, we did have some service units buy into it. So thank you for that. And I think it went extremely well. If you want that first Saturday, we're offering it to you, but you have to use one of the council locations. So Comac, Camp Edie, Riverhead. I think one person signed up, but the service unit was so small that we just gave it to them, you know, before that. So what happens is then you would come just to help there. But we can get more done in our locations because it's less deliveries for the warehouse to make. So we're trying to get bulk of deliveries done on that first Saturday, but they can't deliver to 15 different service units on a Saturday. They only have so many people and so many trucks. So by doing this, Sebago, I just have to make sure I have staff for Sebago, Nicole, but we could definitely look into using Sebago also. But it really was beneficial last year. So we're going to attempt to do that again. So on your form, where you're choosing your dates, you can choose, I want to use the service unit Saturday, and then you wouldn't have to give me 2 dates, because then you're guaranteed that Saturday. So that's how easy that is, okay? But we do ask for you to either send volunteers our way to help, or come down yourself. But we do need help that day. But like I said, it's just easier for the warehouse at that end, because it's such a short sale. We can't take 9 years to deliver the product. By the time the product's delivered, the sale's over. So that's the point of this, is trying to get the product in the hand of the girls sooner rather than later. Okay. Again, we're going to follow up with some emails by the end of the week. You'll probably get a couple from us with all the information we're talking about now. Okay. Post sale, some stuff to do is you got to make sure all your troops are allocating. Okay. This past cookie season, I have to say, was a horror show. I love you guys, I do, but you know, we're still getting people like Melinda's still getting phone calls of, well, I never allocated and I had a kid hit the 500 mark. It's almost September. Like, you know, we're a little like crazed right now. So that kind of stuff has to be cleaned up. Okay. So the service units really have to get on the backs of the troops to allocate their product. It's not hard. The directions are there. We're here to help. You guys are there to help. But it really is, when we have to do it at the bitter end for a troop, we're guessing. We don't know who sold the product. We don't know who was at the boot sale. We're just kind of dispersing it as best we can. So it really helps if they could do it on their own. Money owed, we ask that you just give us a little help with that. It's going to be a little different this year, which we'll go over in a minute. But you know, again, everybody's, I have to say, you guys have been, you know, really rock stars when it comes to that. Especially this year, we're a little short staffed. So stuff that I've already been ahead of the game, usually I'm a little behind. So I just bear with me because we are doing the best we can in the time we have. Rewards, again, you're going to do your delivery of your rewards when they show up. This year, they should be here earlier. We came up with a plan with Bob when we were setting up this year's sale. So we pre-purchased from Bob what we think we're going to need for rewards. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. Okay, there might be something, a glitch here and there, but what we did is kind of what we do for cookies. We pre-told Bob what we want, and he's going to hold it aside for us. But here's the kicker. No matter what, whether, let's say I bought 100 penguins, okay, 100 of the large penguins, and at the end of the day, I only need 50, I still have to pay for 100 penguins. Okay, so it's a win-win, lose-lose, but at the end of the day, I want you guys to get the rewards a little earlier. So we're gonna try it this year. If it doesn't work, then we'll try something else next year. But at least it's something, you know, we can try to fix the issue that we've been having. Slide, please. Yeah, I gotta move the heads again. Okay, so new this year, this is our biggie, okay? So normally we give out deposit slips, okay? And then you give them each to the troops. Sometimes they're given out correctly, sometimes they're not. Okay, just putting that out there. So this year, what we're gonna do is we are going to have the troops put all the money that they collect into their troop bank account. Then what most councils do is you are going to, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the money due from their bank account. Instead of depositing it, we're gonna pull out what they owe less their rebate. So they will already have their rebate. So the kicker this year is gonna be getting everybody on board with this. So I'm not getting 9,000 phone calls of, I didn't get my deposit slips. They never gave me my deposit slips. They're not gonna get deposit slips. There is gonna be some troops, okay? Because again, anytime we change something, it's gonna take time to get used to. But there's gonna be some troops who do a completely online sale who I'm gonna have to give them a rebate because they've already paid, you know? So there's lots of little what ifs going on, you know? It's gonna be something new. It's gonna be a little challenging this year, but the big thing is I need a new ACH form from every single troop. Whether banking has changed or not, I need a new one, okay? So you will also get the link to that to share with your troops. We will be entering the ACH information into the M2OS site, okay? You can run a report in that site that'll tell you whose banking information is in there or not. So that'll make it much easier for you guys instead of having to wait on us to update a chart and then have to send it to you. This will be much more frequent. You can see it. We're pretty good at data entering things quickly, you know, so we do the best we can, but I think that would be a great way of work. So I just want to pause a second, and if anybody has any questions about this, can we put them in the chat just so not everybody's talking over each other? And let's just see what we got going on. That happened with independent troops. Very good question. So independent troops, what we can do is, because we always rebated the service unit, what we can do is they can give you the money and they can deposit it into the service unit account, because every service unit has a bank account, because they're still going to get rebates for selling product as a service unit. You know, you get your couple cents for each item, that kind of thing. We can also do it the old fashioned way where they pay online and then we rebate it to the service unit. So that's gonna be one of those what ifs and who has access, because like Kathy Servone is the one who asked the question. Kathy has access most likely to the service unit bank account. Not every independent girl is gonna know what even that means. So the biggest thing is it's new. So we'll have to come up with a way of work. It's a very good question. The easiest thing to do would probably be to have them pay online and that's just rebate the service unit account for the independent girls. Does that mean parents can't pay with a credit card link? No, they can still pay with a credit card link. But here's the thing, at the end of the day, if you end up paying the whole bill up, we could still rebate you. What we're trying to alleviate here is people waiting for their rebates. You know, sometimes it takes 9 years, you know, for us to get a rebate done. I have to tell you, there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. And it's not always our fault. We're doing the best we can to get people their rebates. You know, so that way, you know, we're trying our best to get the troops their money the easiest way possible for them. So I have a lot of people that complain of going to Capital One. They sometimes have to give their social security numbers. They're using the wrong bank slips. They're having to send me copies. You know, this is going to alleviate, I'm thinking at least 4 or 5 steps and a little bit of aggravation. So we have to see how this works. If, like anything else, if it's a horror show, we might go back to the old way. We don't know, but we have to try this. 97%, I'm gonna guess, of the other councils all do it this way. We're one of the last holdouts to not do collecting money this way. Okay, so we do still have a couple things. I have a meeting tomorrow with Capital One and our chair of the board. We're trying to iron out all the way of work of how this works because we've never done it before. So we're working on that. But at the end of the day, there will be no deposit slips. Okay, if they need to make a payment, they can pay online still, but there will be no deposit slips. Okay, let me just I'm just gonna see if I miss it. Our service unit is TD Bank now. Will that be okay? I don't care what bank your service unit uses. We never did. Whatever works for your service unit bank-wise works for me. You don't have to bank at Capital One. You can use whatever bank your service unit wants to use. I just need a list of the troop, the routing number, and the bank account number. That's why we collect the ACH forms, okay? And it's so much easier doing them online.
A lot of people are asking about the dates. So we have created so the guidebook that we have that we usually do it, and it's usually 20 something pages. We've kind of shrunk it down to be 8 pages. And one of those pages has the full, complete, important dates. So we'll tell you as soon as you get this, you'll see what date we're going to pull the money, and we're not going to pull it all, right? There's a date, and then we pull half of what you would owe, and then we would pull the rest at the end. So you'll know when it's coming. This won't be a surprise.
Yeah, no, I think our dates, if memory serves, are November 8th. We're gonna pull half of your initial sale that's due, okay? And that's only half of what cash would be due. Like if you sold $1,000 worth of stuff for initial sale, but 900 of it is paid for online, we're not taking $1,000. We're gonna take just what you would owe the council, okay? There'll be a screen, I think, coming up that'll explain it a little bit better. We're still, to be honest with you, I don't know what's gonna happen if we try to pull the account and there's no money there, okay? So that's part of my meeting tomorrow is to find out, you know, will the troop be charged a fee? Will we be charged a fee? So that's why we really have to, the troops need to be trained on the new process because it's really, really important that they all understand the dates that are going to be pulled, you know, and that they need to have the money in there.
And part of it is with this system, it has always told you what the troop owes minus,
Correct.
you know, the rebate. So Kelly and Melinda spend like countless hours on emails trying to explain people, well, you owe this, but you really owe this much because we're going to give you this money back. So that's going to alleviate all of this. And I know it's a lot to get started, but it will make the system easier for everybody.
Trina's asking, do we take responsibility for collections then? To some degree, it's not that you're going to take responsibility for collections. We're just asking for help when it comes to collections. I mean, I've been so short-staffed and crazed. I'm still trying to collect from last year's cookies, not this season, the season before. So I have troops that disbanded, never paid their cookie bills, you know, where there's only 3 people in this department, and we're truly doing the best we can. So every time I say I want to work on it, something else comes up and I can't work on it. And I'd rather get you guys, I have to answer your emails before I do anything, because to me, that's more important than anything. So, you know, we do the best we can, but not that you would have to take responsibility for it, but we might ask for help with it. That's the kind of thing. Because sometimes the troops are a little more receptive to someone directly in their town, you know, opposed to someone they really don't even know. Like, they don't know me. They don't know that I'm not going to come in my Girl Scout van and, you know, take them to Girl Scout jail. You know, like, talking to you, sometimes they're more receptive. So that's really the only reason we ask for help with that. This is, I want to make sure we will get a breakdown of each individual troop. Yeah, anything when it comes to individually, or just let us know. We'll break it down for you for individuals. Sometimes it takes a little digging for us because we have to pull up stuff, but just bear with us because we will get it to you. Just shoot us an email. Okay, so are we all kind of understanding and on board with what's going on? I'm going to take the silence as a yes. Okay. Oh, I have a message. I have 2 messages. There's 3 messages. Okay. As best we can. I agree. That's a very good answer. As best we can. It's the same on our end. No, what happens if a check bounces? Now troops are paying the fees. Yes, so that would be a problem. So this is up to the troop to decide how they want to collect the money. Okay, so the troop can make their own rules and say they don't want check. Maybe they want cash. To be honest with you, and membership people, if you're on the call, how are we standing with Venmo? Can anybody chime in by any chance? Maybe not. Because me and Jenna talk about it all the time, but because we're all not in the office at the same time, it's kind of hard to come to a conclusion. But there's so many other avenues that I feel like we could get the money from people. We'll just have to kind of, it says not at this time. Jen and I were talking about trying to make that happen. But, you know, I mean, I wouldn't take checks from people you don't know. You know, I would take a check from a family in your troop, but don't take the checks that, you know, their coworkers gave them. Don't put that in your troop account, you know, that kind of thing. As far as we know, nothing's approved at the moment, but we will have a discussion and see what we can work out, because there's got to be something we can do.
And if we're talking about before initial sale is over, then just direct them to the site and have them pay that way.
Exactly.
Like,
Money can definitely be collected on the site, and to, you know, there's definitely that there. It's more for the after part of the sale, but we'll come up with solutions. Again, this is brand new. We're trying it this year. We're trying it with fall, you know, because cookies is a bigger beast. So we're trying to flow this into cookies, but you know, if it's a disaster, maybe it won't. You know, we have to see how it goes. Currently at this time, there is no online payments that can be set up directly to a troop account. Correct. Thank you, Laura. But we're going to talk about that and see what we can work on with that with Tammy and our board. Maybe we can come up with a solution for that. As someone stated earlier, which I'm not going to say I condone, but you know, I know as a parent of 3 girls in scouting, I sometimes pay the leader by Venmo, you know, and it goes to her personal account and then she pays it from there. I'm not saying that's the way to go, but there's tons of ways to go, you know. You can have that parent who wants to give you a check, pay online. Use the credit card, you know, they could pay with a credit or debit card on our site. So we'll do some more digging on that, but I think like Jenna said, it's not something we need to know for initial sale at the moment, you know, like at this second. So we're going to work on that and dig on that a little bit more, and we will get you more information. Make sure that during the season, you're checking your emails regularly. I try not to bombard you with stuff, but you know, just check it, you know, and that way we're all on the same page. Okay, slide please. Okay, so I just gotta move my little boxes around so I can see. Okay, so here's our example. This is perfect. So this is what the screen looks like that you look on your summary page on the M2OS system, okay? So in the past, we would want this to look like it's overpaid by 108.20, okay? So collected online is what people paid for online. The total amount sold is $894. Collected from customers. This is what your troop should have in cash, okay? So Troop 20 would deposit $712 into their troop bank account. I just used them as my example, it was easy. Council would pull in total for the season between two deposits, because we're not gonna do it all at once. We're gonna do a little one up front to get everybody used to it, and then a balance of what's due at the end of the sale, okay? So we would pull the 603.80. Oh, I lost my screen. Okay, thank you. The difference then would be kept by the troop, which is the troop's rebate. So at the end of the day, they don't have to wait for a rebate. They don't have to do anything like that. They're just going to deposit whatever they have into their bank account. I will pull out the 603.80 in total, and they will be left with the 108.20, which is their proceeds. Okay, sometimes it's easier with the visual. Okay, now to see if the troop has their banking information on file, this is how you do it. Okay, you go to this report. Again, I'll send this to you in an email, so don't worry about writing anything down. And then it's a report. You go to the last column, and it would say yes, it's on file, or no, it's not. The no's you need to follow up with and tell them you need to get your banking information online. You know, and if they don't, trust me, I'll figure out a way to get it. You know, I do have their old information. I just feel like it's been quite a few years, and I think we need to start fresh with a new round, especially since we're coming up with a new way of work. So I think it's a good time to start fresh again. Okay. Slide, please. Okay, we talked a little bit about this. Full troop manager agreements, they'll be online. We will be adding them to the system. Online tools this year. The troop guidebook, we started talking about it a little bit before. We've come to the conclusion a lot that a lot of people, we print up these guidebooks that are, you know, they're really informational, and they're really beautiful, and they're 15 to 20 pages long, and no one opens them. It's like the abyss of paper that ends up getting trashed. So we've decided for fall, we're going to try it out. The guidebook is online. Okay. The guidebook is so beautiful online because it has embedded like links. So if you need something, instead of having to turn to the next page or find it on the website, you click on the link and it brings you right to where you need to be. Okay. So it's the way of the world now. You're going to be seeing product sales use a lot of QR codes, a lot of, you know, links. We're trying to make it as easy and accessible as possible. The guidebook is not as long as it used to be. I think we only made it, Jenna, what did we do, 7 or 8 pages?
8 pages, yeah.
Yeah, so back front, it's 4 pages long. It is printable, it's downloadable. If people want a hard copy and are desperate for it and they can't print, shoot me an email. More than happy to print it. There are some people that are going to miss the paper guidebook, but it's not like you can't print it. We can get you a hard copy if you want it, and you can print it and download it.
Yeah, and it'll
Okay.
be on the website. So like you can
Yes.
just download it from the website and print it out if you want it. It's just like we put all this information in there, then someone will call and we're not going to say, oh, well, it's on page 4 of the guidebook. Like that's not going to be our answer. We're just going to give you the answer. So we're trying to make it a little bit easier for both of us. Plus, like not to spend so much paper printing things off.
Yeah, I mean, those guidebooks, they're high quality paper. So, you know, it's really, I think it'll be a win-win. But we'll see how it goes. You know, maybe paper will be back at least for cookies. Maybe fall we keep it digital. Again, we're trying some new stuff out, and we'll see how it goes. Again, we did. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the rewards are on the paper order form, so that's already connected. And then the M2 site, like the M2 page that has that like getting started page, also has more information on the back. So that's already included.
Yeah, so they're not being, you know, they'll still be able to see everything. And the order card's actually better because the order card's in color. The guidebook for fall was never in color. It was always black and white. Oh no, maybe I have that backwards. Maybe cookies was always black on mine and that was color, whatever. But they still have access to that. We talked a little bit about the troop training, how we're going to provide you a video. I'm just about done with it. I just have to do the voiceover tomorrow. I'm going to be doing like a Zoom call with myself. So I'm going to get that done tomorrow. I wanted to get it done today, but I had Verizon in my house all day, switching my internet. So I was getting a little nervous. He was getting a little too close to start time, and I was getting ready to go to the library, but I didn't have to, thank God. New this year is we're going to attempt to send out bi-weekly newsletters. And that way you guys, we maybe, you know what day to look for something, look for an email from us, it might come from GSSC and not from me. So I know people tend to open more emails if they come like from me directly, but during product sales season, open up anything, that says GSSC, because, it's going down all different avenues now. So, if it's something I need to directly speak to you with, it'll definitely come from me. But for the most part, we're going to try to utilize our Salesforce system a lot and, bulk emails and things like that. So just keep an eye out for that. So we are going to do that.
One of the first emails that they're going to get is we're going to send it to all the volunteers. So they're going to get an email with the guidebook and the social media toolkit and the activity kit that was created. So it's basically like, hi, welcome to the Mags and Munchie sale. These are the things you need. The ACH form is linked to that. The troop manager agreement is linked to it. So in that email, you're going to have everything you need to get started. And then once they put all in that information, then they'll be getting the welcome email from M2 in a little bit after that. But we're trying to put it and make it easier for you.
So I'm just going to jump back to a question in the chat. It's about the cookie guidebook and access to the special booth weekends. The special booth weekends were not actually listed in the guidebook this season because Jen and I didn't think we were going to have any booth sales. So we didn't go ahead and promote them because we didn't want you guys to be disappointed. When we saw that there was a way to do some between standabouts and the very end of the sale, we then started putting them out via email. So if you need, the patches should be going out, I believe I believe we was shipped to the last one last week, and Chelsea was just about done filling all the envelopes. So you should be seeing them starting probably this week or next week. So if you need some guidance on what patches are for what, just shoot us an email, just shoot Chelsea an email, me an email. I can forward it to Chelsea. Okay, good. Chelsea helped you. No, thank you. Thank you for trying to take care of it. We most definitely appreciate it. Like I said, it's just, we usually do put them in the guidebook, but because it was so up in the air, we didn't want to get everybody psyched up that like looked like we were having booth sales. And then we were like, oh, sorry, no, so we kind of went on the, the caution side on that one. But thank you. We appreciate you trying to solve the problem. I just got my cookie patches today and there was a sticky note with who got what patches. It was great. Chelsea is fantastic. Okay. So Chelsea is, she's working with us now and she's really helping out. And as some of you probably even met her in the cupboard. We were quite short-staffed last year in the cupboard, so you probably saw all of us in the cupboard. Hopefully that will change this season. We're trying. But yes, Chelsea is fantastic and does everything I request of her. Initial order forms when shipped yet. The service unit initial order forms been shipped yet? Yes, the service unit forms have been shipped. I think pretty much everybody has probably received it. If at the time they need the mailing addresses quite early. So if no one informed us who your full chair was, and you haven't seen the paperwork yet, it probably went to the coordinator who we had listed. And I believe there are 1 to 2 service units that we had neither. And we had to have them shipped to the council. So I put them in Melinda's name so they would be separate from my extras. So if you happen to be missing your whole shipment of paperwork, let me know. I just don't remember off the top of my head on what service units did that. But yeah, you should have definitely gotten that. Samples, we are not going to do samples this year, only because of COVID, really. I mean, we didn't want you guys putting out samples and then having everybody put their little hands in it. And so hopefully next year we'll bring back samples. Okay, but we were again, erring on the side of caution this year, because we actually had a discussion about it, you know, because I got the email of, do we want to send out samples? And my feeling is let's give it one more year before we decide, you know, to start putting out samples again. So there will be no samples this year. And the folder of fun stuff, we do have your kits. So if you do, they're full kits. We usually hand them out at training. So next time you're in, I can get some out to the out-based offices once we, you know, after Labor Day. And we could definitely get them out there if you guys want to pick them up. It's just a sample of each of the paperwork that you have in your boxes. So it's not like you're missing out on anything. It's really just one piece of each sample of paper.
You can have them at the kickoff too, if you want to do.
Yeah, we can bring them to the kickoff too. You to find out where the paperwork was mailed. Correct. Yes, Faith, you can email me and I will let you know. I could just have to pull up the chart. Okay, so just shoot me an email. Okay, slide. Okay, materials. We kind of, I think you guys pretty much by just doing the program, you probably know this, but we'll go over it super quick. Troops get the troop guidebook, which again is online this year. Their troop full agreement, again, online. So there's nothing for you to hand out. And like I said earlier, when they fill it out online, I'm going to get a copy instantly and you're going to get a copy instantly. So whoever has signed up for training right now, if you signed up, I've already rigged the system to let it know if that person chooses troop service unit 40, they're going to go to the full chair for service unit 40. So I have it all rigged up. Okay. So if you know someone who couldn't come to the training tonight, I don't have it rigged up yet because I wanted to be able to, for them to understand why they're getting it. You know, I didn't want them to just be like, why do I keep getting all these? Because you know why you're getting them, but if they didn't come to training, they're going to be like, I have no idea why am I getting this? ACH form, again, it's online, much easier. They don't have to mail it in. It saves them a stamp. So we're going to do that fresh and brand new this year. Catch-up forms, we're going to do exactly like we did last year by appointment. I'm going to send you guys links to all of these things. So you could share them with your troops, but again, they'll be available all online. And receipt sheets, each troop should get 5 packs of the receipt sheets. They're those little carbons. So anytime a troop gives out product or takes money from someone, they should be giving a receipt. So I have like a ton of these at the office. I usually order extra. I love a good receipt. I'm one of those people. If they need more, just let me know. I can always throw some in the mail or they can pick them up at one of the offices, okay? Now, each troop is gonna give out to each girl a not order card. They're gonna give them an initial sale order receipt. They could do that at the beginning or they could do it when it's closer to the time of collecting the initial sale. Again, like Mike said, this kind of helps alleviate if you're not having the parents enter their card into the system, this alleviates you of sitting there having to understand what other people's handwriting is. So they could just fill out that form and hand it back to you with their totals, okay? But you can also have it where they enter it into the M2 system themselves, okay? Money envelope, pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, never collect money and please portray this to your troops. Never collect money without counting it in front of the person and giving a receipt. Because the last thing you want to do is get home with a money envelope that says it has $500 in it. It was flung at you at pickup and you get home and there's $400 in it. So now who's responsible? You know, so now it becomes the he said, she said. So just cover yourselves and use the tools. Okay, that's all I'm asking. Parent permission slips are still in paper form because they need to have a hard copy. What happens is the troop can hold on to that hard copy, or I've had a lot of people in new to nuts training say that they take pictures of them. Once they're filled out, they take a picture, they email it to themselves, and now if they lose it, it's not that big of a deal. So, and then when the season's over, you can just delete the file. So that I loved, so I kind of share that. And we mentioned earlier, I think Jenna mentioned it too, the Getting Started flyer is a little more friendlier this year to the parent. It has a lot of more information on the backside of the magazine, you know, spiel. And it actually has a QR code to kind of explain to them how to do standabouts, which is a family run boot sale. So, so I think that'll be really handy for them. And we'll take it from there. Slide, please. I keep flip-flopping. I got to move my boxes every time. You think I'd learn? Okay, we kind of talked about this too. When you're training your troops, you have to remember, like I said earlier, not all of the full troop managers are leaders. They could be a parent. So they might not be coming to your leader meeting. They might need a special invite. So make sure your troops understand that they're not just coming to pick up paperwork. They need to bring that person with them at that meeting or invite them to the Zoom, whatever, however you are planning on doing your training. Okay. But that was my second point. Remind troops to log into M2OS and watch the training video and create their, me too. Like, tell them to do these things sooner rather than later. Because the last thing you want to happen is you're in the day of the deadline and I never got the welcome email. I don't know what to do. Like, these are things that they could do to get themselves ready, familiar with the system. The training video is actually quite helpful to people who have never used it before. So it's like, and it's not that long. I think it's like maybe at most like 8 to 10 minutes. I mean, there's so many things we waste 8 to 10 minutes on. This is going to help them, you know, so I really encourage them to do that. Sending out that welcome email at the beginning is very important. Because like I said before, you get emails from me and you open it. My open rate is very good, okay? But when it comes from the M2 system, they don't tend to open it because they don't really understand where it's from. So coming directly from the troop leader, they're more likely to open it and understand what is in there, what it entails, okay? So make sure you do that. Talk about booth sales with them, how you do them. What is your way of work for booth sales? We have been trying to start reaching out to some of the chain stores. We've had some luck. You know, we're still working on getting some insurance on file and things like that. We still have time. So, you know, we're getting pushback on some, but you guys can start approaching stores too and asking them. And we can start getting insurance, you know, certificates on file. And that way it doesn't all have to be done last minute. Okay. Standabouts are still around where the kids can sign out products with their family and then they can sell it on their property. So we didn't get away with those, you know, because the girls really liked those. So we're going to keep those in. So that's not going to change. Again, keep an eye out for emails from you and from us. It's really beneficial too for them to like, if they're into doing social media, it's really beneficial for them to like Facebook and Instagram and all of those things, because we do put things out usually first there. So you're usually the first person to know about things if you like our pages. So booth sales are up to the store. Yes, Diane. You know, we started contacting some of them. I'm trying to think who Chelsea started contacting them a couple of weeks ago. We're going back and forth right now with the train stations. So, because they take 9 years to begin with. So we decided to start on those nice and early. She's been getting some pushback from some of the stores because they think it's too early. They don't know what's going to happen, you know, things like that. But sometimes these stores know you guys better. So, because you're their shopper. I'm just a person calling. So, yeah, start fielding out your stores and seeing who's willing to have you come. Let's get the certificates rolling. So when it's time to go open those flood doors, we're ready to go.
Yeah, like part of it is that like last year we weren't allowed to have booth sales because that was what was directed from GSUSA, and then in turn with some of the things that we were hearing from the CDC. So as of right now, we are set to start the booth sales when they start, but if things change, we'll have that on the website.
Okay, question, can we do a standabout at our own house and have our whole troop present? So here's the thing. It depends what kind of world we're in at that moment. And Jenna, please chime in if you disagree with me or agree. If we're kind of where we're at right now, I would say that's not a problem. Okay. But if we're at that point where we're starting to quarantine and, you know, girls shouldn't be on top of other girls, then I would say we'd have to go back to the family method. I would take that out as a booth sale and not a standabout. Because when you take out a booth sale, you can divvy it up for the whole troop. When you take out a standabout, we're giving credit to one kid. So, you know, I think we could play that one by ear, you know, one-on-one. But yeah, so, I mean, it really just depends what kind of world we're in at that moment, you know, so anything can change in the beat of a second, you know?
Yeah, and you would have to just treat it like a troop meeting. So you would have to do,
Yeah.
you know,
You'd have to do your
Sure.
normal trip approvals and, things like that. So, and then would come into play too with the standabout if you do that, is probably a certificate of insurance. So, and there's some people who really don't want to give copies of their homeowner's insurance or have us listed as a secondary. So standabouts, that's why they worked well for an individual family, because you know that their individual family, is not going to sue themselves, that kind of thing. I see a message and I can't get to it. Do you have a list of places service units have? Okay. We have a list of places that service units have gone in the past, and I could send that to you guys. But I have to tell you, it's quite outdated. We're going on 2 years. Okay, we're going, I mean, really, when you think about it, we did some boot sales at the end of cookies last year, but not many. So that list is quite outdated, but it's definitely a starting point. So I could definitely add that to the list of stuff that I'm gonna email out. Walkabouts are definitely still allowed. But again, there's still caution in what we need to do. Okay. And I saw another one previously, masks at boot sales. Personally, yes, I would say masks at boot sales, but you have to go by what the CDC is saying at that moment.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for us to predict because obviously the numbers were so low for so long and now they're all creeping back up again. And booth sales don't start until really the end of October.
Yeah.
So right now we have an idea of where we're going to be at, but we're going to have to keep checking it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, everything I'm talking about right now could be kiboshed in like 2 weeks, you don't know. Once they go back to school, I mean, maybe the numbers will skyrocket, who knows? But we're talking as if this is what's going to be. So we just have to, like we've done for the past year and a half, 2 years, we're just going to have to see what time brings. Thank you, Laura. Make sure you check the COVID link on our website for updates. We'll also send out some updates too, if anything was to change harshly where we'd have to discuss. Again, part of your job is to train troops, offer assistance, go over the initial sale data, make sure, if you know a troop is really participating and they have no data in there and the deadline's approaching, maybe shoot them an email and ask if they need any help. At the very end of the sale, you distribute the rewards when they come in. Again, you just print up the delivery tickets by troop and it'll tell you exactly what to give to each troop. Last year, I mean, anytime if things are shorted in the boxes, you just let us know and we get you what you need, okay? They're human and they pack a lot of boxes, so there's always going to be a shortage or an overage somewhere. So it happens every time, so I'm not too concerned with it. Slide, please. Okay, so in your guidebook, it'll have a list of all the dates. Here are just some really important ones. Programs begin September 20th. Last day for parents and the last day for parents to update into the system is actually October 14th. Okay, so I'm actually should have updated this slide. Then the troops have the 15th through the 17th to enter the orders from there. The troops don't have access to the system until the 15th. So only the parents have access to enter paper orders until the 14th. Okay, so at the end of the day, the whole initial sale is over on October 17th. Online orders for direct ship to magazines end. Yes, online, well, not so much online orders. Online orders go through the whole sale for direct shipped. Wow, this slide's really wrong. This slide's really wrong. Okay, what ends on November 17th is actually, okay, I'm reading this wrong. Okay, online orders for direct ship nuts and magazines, yes, they end on November 17th. That is the end of the complete sale. It ends on November 17th. You want to throw me is October and November are the same date. Okay, so I'm thinking, what is wrong with this? October 17th, initial sale order taking and girl delivered online order taking ends. Correct. Okay, I was just reading it completely wrong. So yes, so after the initial sale, the girl delivery portion shuts down. So they can't take any more girl orders there. Initial order, paper order shuts down, okay? So service unit nut deliveries, we talked about it before, begin October 29th, and they go, the 30th is that Saturday, and it goes one more Saturday after that. So we try to squeeze all 48 service units, there's 48 of you, across the whole island into this little time frame. So If you could pick a day during the week, that is fantastic. That is extremely helpful, because everybody can't get a Saturday. You know, it just is, it's humanly impossible for this trucking company to do that. Okay, good. Questions are good. Okay, great. So there's not many of you that ever really need to contact M2 directly, but there are sometimes someone will call and say, I never got my magazine. It didn't start, you know, I never got my first subscription, or, you know, I'm moving and I need to change my subscription address. This would be the people to connect to, support@gsnutsandmags.com, and the 1-800 number. But you can always contact us and we can give this to you. It's actually on, when you sign into the M2 site, on the very bottom, there's a contact button. And you click on contact and it'll give you this information there too. Okay, so that's fantastic there. But I've never heard any complaints about anybody who's ever called there. So they're usually very, very helpful. Can I pick up Thursday or Friday? I'm sorry, Joanne, what are you trying to pick up on Thursday or Friday?
I think it's delivery.
A delivery?
Like the
Oh, you
date.
mean, okay, we'll do with dates after. I'll send you a link that you have to fill out, okay? Yeah, I'll send you a link of I need the address of the location. I need a little bit more. So I keep try to keep all the data in one place, so that way I'm not going nuts. Okay, so I think that's the end. Let me just check my cheat sheet real quick. We talked about that. We talked about that.
Do you want me to pull up like the guidebook so they can quickly see what it looks like?
That sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. And it's actually quite printer friendly too, if anybody did want to print it. Yes, thank you, Laura, for pointing out that, yeah, everybody who participates in the full program needs to be registered. We check the troop chairs as they come in. So if someone is not registered, we contact them and tell them they need to register. And they also need a background check. Anybody who deals with product, money, or children needs to have a background check.
So this is it real quick. As you can see, so the blue hyperlinks right there, you would click. So on the important dates, all that information is there. If you click a blue link, it'll bring you to the page of the website. So when you click on the Fall Into Girl Scouts rally, it brings you to the web page where you can register for the Fall Into Girl Scouts rally. Like when you click on the cupboards open link, it'll bring you to the page that tells you when the cupboards are open. We have info on the ACH, all that information is there. The different ways to participate are here. Again, for catch-ups, like it says, Troop reserves the order online. When you click on this blue hyperlink, it'll bring you to the page so that you can make an appointment for a catch-up order. So we're trying to put all of that in there so there's like one place to do it. For rewards, like you click on the rewards, and then when you click on the complete list, it brings you to the website with all the rewards. So it's all kind of connected, and we tried to make that easier for you, especially because, you know, not everybody might not be meeting in person just yet. So if you have to share your information, you know, on Zoom or with, you know, on a phone call or a website, this makes it easier. And we put it multiple places. So we explain what a catch-up order is, and then again, put the link there. For booth sales, when you scan this QR code, it'll bring you to reserve your booth sale online. We still have the tips and tricks in there. We still have, you know, the information on the cupboard, and then the munchies pages on there. But it's half the amount of pages that we used to do, and it's interactive in that it'll bring you to the page of the website. The website is pretty much done. It's just not totally open yet because there's just a couple of things that we're adding. But one of the things we're going to be adding is the recording of tonight. Then Kelly is creating the troop training. So, you know, we do a lot of talking, and then maybe you go to do your troop training and you don't have all the information. You're gonna have Kelly's beautiful voice serenading you the lovely rules of the Mags and Munchie sale, and all of that's going to be there. The let me see, there's also in the email, there's going to be the social media and toolkit and all that stuff. So that email, if you want to take a really quick look.
It's actually done very nicely. It's not too wordy, it's perfect length, and it has good information.
But this is what the email is going to look like. So if you go to, when all it's going to go to all the volunteers. So it's going to say coming soon as the product program, explains all that information. Here's what you need to get started. As it had the digital copy of the troop guidebook is right here. The activity guide that you can use for the troops that has games and activities and things like that is right here connected. The social media toolkit, when you click on that, that's all going to be connected. It's all waiting for the website. So I don't know why I clicked on that, but as soon as the website is finalized, all those links will be live. The troop manager agreement online, Kelly created it. So it's on this jot form thing. So again, you click on it, it brings you the link right there. You don't have to go searching the website for the information, and it makes it easier for the troop leaders and easier for you. Register now for Fall into Girl Scouts. We're only able to do 150 people total per time slot. So as you guys have seen, it's September 25th. There's either 10 to 12 or 1 to 3. And then to register, that link is right here. But the way it's set up, we have to close it at 150 people because we have to have room for volunteers and for staff. Although obviously we have a few less staff this time, so for volunteers. That's open now. We just had it, we're creating a t-shirt as we speak, and that'll be available for pre-order by next week. So we're trying to just get everything situated so that we can get closer to our new normal, but we're trying to make things as easy as possible for you because we know this last year and last couple of years have not been easy at all. So that's it.
Thank you, Jenna. That was very helpful to see everything live. So does anybody have any other questions? And I'm sure you'll think of stuff after we get off. And as you know, you can email us. And you know, we can even, if you guys wanted to have a second meeting, once we, you know, later in the season, we can have like a subsequent, you know, meet and greet, you know, to talk about boot sales or to talk about, we did it last year when we weren't sure what was going on. So we could definitely do that again if that's needed, you know, if anybody would like that. On the 25 is the other, I'm sorry, working on the 25 is the another training. I'm not following that question, I'm sorry. Thank you, Laura. And then someone says, is there a cost for parents? If you're meeting for Fall into Girl Scouts, there is no cost for parents. If you're meeting to register as the troop manager, then yes, they have to pay the $25 fee. The $12 for Girl Scouts only, parents are free, correct? And so I think children under 3 and under, Jenna, am I wrong? Something like that is free. Is there another training? There is not another service unit training. The only other training I will offer is New to Nuts, which is a little deceptive by their, I think I might change the name next year. It's a little deceptive because it's not just for new people. Veterans can come too and just get refreshed or learn what's new. I just liked the saying New to Nuts. It sounded fun, you know, but anybody's welcome to come to those. If you're coming as a troop, yes, anytime you leave your meeting place, you need to fill out a trip approval, okay? So I always had the thing of when in doubt, fill it out, because it doesn't hurt to have it on file. But yes, anytime you leave your normal meeting place, you need to fill out a trip approval. If you're just going, if the kids are going just with their parents, then that's not a troop trip and they could just go on their own.
Part of it, it's like, if you're new, it might be harder to kind of visualize everything because you're not in the system. Once the system is open, it's really set up to kind of guide you. So if you go to get started and you start to get confused or you need help, just let us know and we'll walk you through it.
Okay, you don't have to wait to distribute materials until you have the ACH form. Okay, they can get their materials. They can even hand out their materials. At the end of the day, you can't hand them any product until you have their signed troop chair agreement, troop manager agreement. I'm still getting used to saying it. And you can actually add into that the ACH form for this year. But you don't have to hold back paperwork because it's not possible. They're not even going to know to fill out the ACH form until you tell them. So, you know what I mean? So I would say giving out the paperwork is perfectly fine, but just don't give them any product until you know you have all your ducks in a row.
And you'll get the links for all that. That email will go out soon. So you'll get all
Yes.
of that. It'll probably be before you have your meeting.
Yes. So yeah, my big thing is make sure you have all your ducks in a row before you give any product out. Once that product is out, there's no getting it back. Okay. You want to make sure you have all your bases covered. Okay. You are very welcome. Again, if nobody has any other questions, thank you so much for coming out tonight. 2 hours is a lot of time to spend with us and we appreciate it. And as you think of more questions, just feel free to jump in and ask us. You know, like I said, some of these things are new to us too. We're trying to come up with the way of work that's going to work. You know, that's not just going to be like, let's slap this together. If anybody knows me, I'm not a slap together kind of gal. Jenna probably wants to hit me most of the time, but it is what it is. Hit me away. I don't punch back, so it's fine. So, you know, just bear with us. We're trying to, in the long run, we think these things will be beneficial to the troop. They won't have to wait for rebates, you know, things like that. We'll still have if someone doesn't pay, we'll still have the outstanding forms. And, you know, we will still go after the parent instead of the troop. You know, there's still these tools there. So the big thing is communication. If it comes down to it and a troop knows you know, they're not going to have all the money in the account, they need to communicate that with you and with us. Okay. So communication is key. Okay. So just in the next couple of days, just keep an eye out for some emails from me, from us, and we will get you everything you need to get going. So thank you, Bob, for coming out. We appreciate it. I know it's probably late. Are you ahead or behind? I don't remember.
Same time zone as you.
Okay.
Oh, you are?
Why do we always think that
Why
you're
do
like a
I
different
always
time
think
zone?
Ohio is one hour back?
Because we
Yeah,
are
that's why I was
right,
like, I'm not
we're
sure where
right
we
on
are.
the edge. We're right on the edge. You
Right
get
on the
to-
edge, right on the
Yeah.
edge. But thank you again, Bob, for spending time with us and explaining your beautiful products to us.
Well, thank you all. You did a great job. Appreciate it.
And we will talk to everybody soon. We're here for you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.